There's a lot of people out there saying that the Switch 2 is boring or not good enough, or the Switch 2 is more of the same. I want to give my take on this subject because I find it kind of funny, and I'd like to hear if you're happy or disappointed in the reveal, and leave any other opinions about the Switch 2 in the comments below. People seem to be disappointed that the Switch 2 isn't different or that there isn't some crazy new feature. But okay, when the Wii came out, the gimmick was motion controls, and it was a big hit for a while, but people eventually got bored of it. A few years later, Wii U came out, and the Nintendo added a portable feature to it to try to make it better than the Wii. And we all know how that went. It was not very successful. The Wii U had a good idea with a console and portable way to play, but you had to leave the console running and you were limited to where you had it plugged in. And that's what led to the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch was just a better Wii U. The gimmick was essentially the same as the Wii U, just improved. The ability to play handheld went from being stuck in your house to being able to play anywhere you want. Also, the motion controls back from the Wii also followed to the Switch 1 and were improved on. Now you could remove the Joy-Con from the tablet screen and use them freely instead of having to hold the bulky Wii U tablet. The Switch 1 is also way more powerful than the Wii U, but also pretty similar functionality-wise. You see, Nintendo was on a journey to find the best fitting form factor for them, and they found it in the Switch 1. It all started with the Wii and Wii U, and yes, we had the DS and 3DS. They just combined all their best featured gimmicks into the perfect form, the Switch 1. Then you fast forward to now, the Switch 2 is released, we get the trailer, and a lot of people are excited, but also a lot were not. Like I said earlier in the video, people saying it's boring or more of the same, I'll just say this. Look how many console gens it took Nintendo to make the final form of the Wii and Wii U. Ask yourself, did we want Nintendo to launch the Switch 2 just to be different and have the next latest gimmick? Or do we want good-ass games brought to a console that is basically the same as Switch 1 but more capable of running the bangers Nintendo always makes? No one complained about the similarities from the Wii U to the Switch, and it's because the appearance was changed more. That's all it was, new and flashy. People see appearances first and automatically say it's more of the same. And in this case, more of the same is a good thing. The Switch 1 is like 8 years old and sold like 146 million systems. Yeah, if I was Nintendo, I'd say, my console is ready, and make it similar as I could, but more capable. What do you want Nintendo to do for the next gimmick anyways? Have the Joy-Con have slot holes in them and blast smell into your face as you walk across Hyrule? Or smell Wario when he farts in his games? I mean, do you really want that? Because we know how Nintendo can be wild with their ideas. In the end, you buy a console for the games, and if the games are good, who really cares about the gimmicks and the appearances of the console? Look at the PS5. It's a literal spaceship. I had to empty the garage to be able to play the thing. If I had a cardboard box, plugged it into a potato, and it had a new 3D Donkey Kong playable on the system, yeah, I'd play it. In my opinion, I'd be happy if Nintendo made the Switch 2 docked only, and went back to the traditional console way of things like the GameCube. That was the good times. When the Switch 1 launched, I didn't have a care in the world for the portable side of it. I just saw Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey and just simply wanted to play the games. I had my fill of handhelds growing up on the original Game Boy, then the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance SP, DS, 3DS. Even with the handheld only consoles, Nintendo has made slight improvements, but more of the same. Game Boy to Game Boy Color. It added a backlight and color, but basically the same form factor. I can go on and on, but the ultimate reality in my opinion is you buy consoles for games. Gimmicks are a slight added bonus, but not the reason you buy them. Other console makers do the same thing, and have been for years. PS1 to PS5, all just a different looking console but more powerful. The Switch 2 is more powerful, but looks the same. That's the difference. The PS3 had PlayStation Move. It flopped, and so did the Kinect. It failed twice. Nintendo is just the only one that does these weird gimmicks more often, and they're more successful. So people automatically think they have to continue to do it. In the end, when you got something that works well, just improve upon it. Don't reinvent the entire wheel. At least for now, Nintendo's sticking to what works. Maybe the next console will do something like have 2 screens and fold like a DS, or something like that. Y'all know how Nintendo is, it could literally be anything. No, this is not the start of Switch 3 news. Maybe in a year's time. Remember when the Switch 1 came out, people were talking about Switch 2 leaks like a month after the release. It was crazy. Well anyways, I'm Tanking Away. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like all things Nintendo, hit the subscribe button and tell me your opinions on this subject in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.